Well, here we go. I'm going to do my first makeup video online and upload it to YouTube and try to edit it, and we'll see what happens. Let me get my stuff ready out. My face is already clean and washed. We're going to hit it with some moisturizer. Because before you put on any makeup, you really need to make sure your skin is taken care of, because it is most important as your base. Your skin is your base. And the biggest organ in your body, you really need to take extra special care of your skin. It is the most important part of your
Wait, you know how
even
you made
makeup
a video
routine.
on the laptop? You know how you made a video on the laptop? The phone looks way more clear.
Don't mind my daughter speaking over top of me, even though she shouldn't be speaking. She's talking to let me know that the video is clearer, and I appreciate that. Okay, now that we have our lotion on, we're going to start with, of course, priming our face. And my personal favorite is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Works fantastic, has great reviews, inexpensive as far as price point goes. I tend to take my beauty blender and just get a little on there and start pressing it into my skin, especially in my T-zone area. I work from the inside out, the middle of my face to the outside of my face, making sure to get into all those little nooks and crannies to make a flawless, seamless canvas for when it's time to put my makeup on. And I press it in and make sure you get clear to your hairline. You don't want any of those wonky lines just hanging out and about. And you press it, make sure you get it everywhere you're going to be applying your makeup. I might even try some contouring. Makeup hasn't always been my go-to, because I have 3 kids and 2 cats and not a whole lot of time outside of COVID, because everything's shut down and they know we're stuck in the house. So, as an activity, I figured I would get some of this stuff off of Amazon, like my tripod, my light, my shotgun microphone, and this is really the first time we're trying it out, so wish us luck, fingers crossed, doubly, triply, every way you can think of. Now, my face is good and primed, powdery, but yet tacky. That's why I love the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And again, I'll show you that so that you know. It is a drugstore brand, and it is fantastic as far as using it as a primer. Now for my primer, I'm going to go straight to my foundation. And I'm sorry, I should have had all of this out, ready to roll. I have a couple of foundations and a couple of brow products and concealers and eye primers. I'm just going to try to dig a bunch of it out here and put it on the table in front of me so I know exactly what I'm working with. I have, let's see, I'm having a difficult time finding my favorite.
That has makeup on it.
My favorite.
That one. You don't like makeup.
Shade of concealer, so I'm going to use the Fit Me Maybelline in the shade 120 Classic Ivory, and hope that that works. Now I use the same beauty blender that I used for my primer. I either put it right on the beauty blender or just a little bit on the back of my hand so that I have some to work with. And again, I'm working from the outside, in the middle, to the outside. and I put it all over. I don't like to rub it in and make it so that I'm overly product. I put it in my key spots, and then, you know, as I'm sure anyone who's watched makeup tutorials knows, you buff, you buff, you buff, you buff, you buff, you buff, you blend, you blend, you blend. You blend away until you've pushed all that product into your skin and made sure that it's nice and tight and right. And you just keep making sure you're bouncing that beauty blender right off, mixing it in, making sure to get your neckline, because you don't want any of that hideous 1980s and 1990s line. I even go a little onto my ears to make sure that there's no question. And I make sure I get into each crack and crevice under my nose, under my chin, and it mixes in and gets me nice and flawless. Now my foundation is on. I know there's always some question as far as when people do their concealer, when they do their foundation. I like to do my foundation first, and then I follow it up with concealer. I know a lot of people go a little crazy with their concealer, and again, I have an e.l.f. product. It is called the Hydrating Camo Concealer Satin Finish. So far, this is my favorite. I'm working on getting some Tarte Shape Tape because I'm really interested in their brand. And I know a ton of people that use it and have great success. And I'm letting it all set on. And remember, folks, anything you put on as a liquid, you bake with a powder. You seal and set with a powder. So here we go with the concealer. Now I put it under my under eyes. As I said again, I have 3 kids and very little sleep. But I don't do the whole drawing clown face makeup. I want to make sure I'm looking to see where the light really hits my eyes. So I might put 2 dots in here and 2 dots here, 3 dots, and just on the inside, because I want it to brighten my face in certain areas. I put a little on my chin, tip of my nose, forehead, and, you know, of course, the straight kind of line down the center, because we are going to use a regular highlighter at one point or another. And again, same beauty blender, because it still has some of that product mixed in, so it's going to help it too. Really kind of blend and mix the colors in together and give me just a nice highlight. When you're doing this specifically, I'm going to switch beauty blenders here for a minute, because I want one with a point, because I'm going down the sides of my nose and up into the corners of my eyes, and I want that brightness to really open up my eyes. And when you're doing your eyes, you lift up, up, up. You don't want to drag your face down. The whole purpose of lightening these areas is so that when the light hits it, it's giving you the appearance of a nice, bright, awake look. You want your eyes to be brought upwards. You don't want your face to sag. The whole purpose of doing this in the first place is to lift, not drag you down. You don't want a face that has one side drooping and one side just completely lifted up, or you're going to have a wild look on your hand. Now, one place I forgot that I always like to give myself just a little bit of highlight is right where the light hits on my Cupid's bow, right there. And I take my beauty blender, same thing. Anywhere I want the light to really affect. And then again, you're just buffing it out. You're buffing it out and buffing it out. You're bouncing it off your skin and you're pushing that product. Now, like I said, anything you lay down as a liquid, you're going to set it and forget it with a powder. The powder I have is HD Translucent Setting Powder from Kyoki. This is what it looks like. It's very light. and it usually likes to get all over me. But I pick it up right with that beauty blender and I start just packing it right on. I know you look a little strange there because you're putting all this excess where you just lay down. You don't do your whole face, you just do the areas where you put the most of your concealer. Because when you bake it and you let it sit, you're really ensuring that that makeup holds for the whole day. Now, you just leave all that excess powder on your face and you continue on with the rest of your routine. And for me, at this point, comes contouring. Well, not contouring. I think I'm gonna work on my brow. I am still learning. I have a Wet n Wild brow color and wax because I bought a new one and I can't seem to locate it. So we're just gonna try to clean up these brows some, provided that I can open it. See, it comes with a mirror, it's handy dandy, but it also makes it a pain to open it. Now, as I look for my spoolie, bear with me. I have my girls here with me, along with my many bags.
Wait, Mom, how about you do a Christmas makeup since it's getting closer and closer to Christmas?
Yeah, Mommy, you should.
There's a spoolie. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna draw them up
So what were you
and
gonna
get them
tell
into
me
shape.
again, Jeremy?
And I'm gonna, Bella, pause
What
that.
are you
Pause
gonna
it
tell
over.
me again?